Our continent is South America, and the area that we have chosen is the Pantanal. The Pantanal is located in the center of South America, mostly in the Brazilian state of Mato Grosso do Sul, but also in parts of Bolivia and Paraguay. The coordinates of the Pantanal are 18 degrees south to 56.5 degrees west. The Pantanal is a landlocked river delta and is the world's largest wetland. It spans an area of 54,000 to 75,000 square miles.
Two biomes are represented in the Pantanal, the semi-deciduous tropical forest and a wetland. It has two seasons, the rainy season and the dry season. The rainy season is from November to April with constant flooding. It is also the most popular time for animals to breed. The dry season is from May to October and is considered to be a better time for tourism. Due to the intense amount of flooding during the rainy season, the Pantanal is a host to countless different types of plants and wildlife. The more common animals that you'll see in the Pantanal are the capybara and the tapir, and more rare ones that are also endangered are the jaguar, the hyacinth macaw, the giant river otter, and the marsh deer.
The trophic pyramid in the Pantanal is really complex because of the biodiversity in the area and just the vast number of wildlife, vast number of different species. So at the top of the trophic pyramid, you have the jaguar. This is the apex predator, and then from there you go to the caiman, and these are sort of the top two predators in the area. And then from there you go down to the next level to like capybara, the marsh deer, and then from there you move on to your herbivores, and then the next level down is the plants. There are many threats to the area. The Paraguay River flows into the Pantanal, and the well-being of the river affects the well-being of the Pantanal. Hydroelectric projects are becoming more popular, and also the issue of privately owned land in Brazil and giving people the right to do what they will with the land. Deforestation is also a problem that could potentially lead to erosion. Water contamination and eutrophication from the river, from Paraguay River. Also habitat destruction and cattle ranching are two other big issues.
Hydroelectric projects would be very dangerous for the Pantanal because it requires dredging and rock outcroppings, which needs for the Pantanal to be drained. 80% of the Pantanal is located in Brazil, and of that 80%, 98% of it is privately owned, so the government has limited say on talking about preservation for those areas. Deforestation in the Pantanal causes rivers to fill with sediments, which leads to flooding, and this affects communities around the Pantanal and also the Pantanal itself. Water contamination from mining, chemical sewage, and garbage is a big problem and can endanger and hurt species in the Pantanal and drinking water. Habitat destruction such as poaching and fishing is a big problem. And cattle ranching is the #1 industry around the Pantanal in Brazil, and some say it's affecting the area negatively because of overgrazing and hurting species in the Pantanal, but this is not for sure.
So we think the Pantanal is a great area for apes to visit for many reasons. First of all, we think that it's a great example of a wetland, and it showcases how this wetland sort of biome can act like a sponge in a region. It also helps, and it's a good example of seeing how this wetland can prevent flooding of the Paraguay River and keep it from overflowing and potentially causing habitat destruction for lots of different wildlife and different species, but also humans as well. And it's also a good way to see how the wetland provides protection for many species from overflooding, again, from the Paraguay River.
Going off of that, the Pantanal is a great example of a large trophic pyramid because of the many different species found there. And trophic pyramids are something that we looked at in great detail over the term and how important every single animal is in the pyramid. Also, the Pantanal is a good representation of how eutrophication can be a big problem and how it helps control eutrophication and prevents runoff from reaching rivers in Brazil and other countries around. The Pantanal also demonstrates an interesting soil profile that changes throughout the year based on the season. In the rainy season, it's not very permeable, but the dry season causes it to dry out and become more fertile. And soil profiles are also something that we studied a lot during this term. So overall, the Pantanal proves to be a very interesting and important place in the world because it supports and provides for a unique ecosystem filled with many different endangered and interesting species. And it also connects to many different things that we learned in apes over the course of this term.